Coming up on this Wednesday edition of Morning Drive, climb aboard as we take you to Turkey to hear from the WGC HSBC champs.
It's a remarkable back nine, and Rose could well be back to winning ways.
How does he plan to keep momentum as the race to Dubai heats up at the Turkish Airlines Open? Plus, the best in college golf are in Atlanta. We get you up to date with everything you need to know about the match play finals of the East Lake Cup.
It certainly feels good. It's a new year and a new team.
Let's have some fun and party a little bit. Really happy that we get to play in the final match tomorrow.
And we're celebrating the Black Knight's 82nd birthday.
What are we at now? I'm at 10. 10! Cha, 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 cha! Wow, that is solid.
We look back on his illustrious career and tell you how you can take part in the celebration. Today is Wednesday, November 1st, and Morning Drive starts now.
Yes, good morning to you. Cara Banks alongside Damon Hack, and we have the rest of our crew in studio and out at East Lake today as well. Now, Damon, he bleeds Dodger blue, and we're headed to Game 7.
Los Angeles Dodgers started from the bottom, and now they're here at Game 7. I tell you what, it was very exciting. I woke up thinking we'd lost, we'd won tonight for all the marbles at Chavez Ravine. But yesterday it was also Halloween. Did you see this incredible costume? The Putter Boy, Pinehurst Resort. This is actually a human being.
I know, right?
I mean, this is incredible. You've got the little putter, you've got the nice putter stand. I mean, this is an incredible job.
His legs must be inside the box, I'm guessing, his
There's
actual legs.
There's a line here. I think it probably opens up and allows his legs to kind of fit neatly into the Putter Boy box.
That's impressive, a nice
Yes.
little touch to Pinehurst.
Absolutely.
A bit of golfing magic right there. And we've got plenty more Halloween costumes coming up later in the show from the golfing community. But I wonder if our co-workers got dressed up. Well, let's find out as we welcome in Gary Williams and Charlie Reimer, who are in Atlanta ahead of the final day of the East Lake Cup. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Cara and Damon. Yeah, Charlie dressed up. He put on a coat and tie. He looked like a lawyer.
Exactly. Yeah, you know, it was a great day here. The weather was absolutely beautiful. It was really neat driving home. East Lake is in a beautiful part of Atlanta, and driving back over to the Emory campus where we're staying.
Yeah.
A lot of trick-or-treaters out last night. It was a lot of fun to see it. I thought about jumping out and grabbing a little bit of candy, but
you
gave
thought
that
about
up
it
a while back ago.
Yes, you did.
But another beautiful day on tap today.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What is happening now? Well, we've got the final set for the East Lake Cup. We had the individual champions crowned on Monday, and then we had match play that started yesterday, and now we've got ourselves a very interesting final, both men's and women's. Let's start with the women, and how did they get here? And it's going to be an all Pac-12 final. And let's start with Robin Ree against Stephanie Lowe. And here she has 2 putts to win the match here, Charlie.
Yeah, normally that sounds pretty easy, but these greens are so fast. Did a good job of having perfect speed on that one.
So she would win. Ree, who won the individual title, she wins her match 3-2. Let's go on to Allison Corpos against Brooke Riley, a sophomore from Northwestern. Here's her second on the 12th.
Yep, plays a little bit uphill, difficult to get the distance just right, and I think she got it just right, although it's a little short. Yeah.
So you give her what, a C?
Oh, that might be like an A-.
A-.
She didn't get all the way to the hole.
Okay, here she is on 16, another wonderful iron shot.
Yeah, and when you can't see the entire flag stick, again, distance is an issue. You got to play to the top of that flag. I think she's got it figured out.
She sure does. So her birdie putt to win the match, slightly downhill.
Yeah, and you can see that speed there. When you get above the hole, they can be challenging, but she was up to that challenge.
She was. She would win 3-2. That was the third point. They advanced to the championship match. But let's move along now to Arizona State and Stanford.
Tough green to read late in the day because you're dealing with all those shadows. But boy, that one was just absolutely spot on.
Yeah, Liana Strom, the junior from Sweden, she would make that eagle putt. She would go 2 up. She would go on to win. Now here is Aldon Valazara on the 18th.
That's the kind of chip Damon Hack dreams of right there. Super tight lie, big situation. Hands are probably a little bit shaky, but she played a beauty.
She sure did. Now, Roberta Lita, who's a senior from Italy, her birdie putt on 18 slides just to the right. And she knows that this is going to set up an opportunity for USC to advance, and they do.
Yeah, they were definitely on fire yesterday. USC ended up winning 4-1. I think they carry a lot of momentum into the championship match today.
They do indeed, but and as we look at the leaderboard update presented by Peter Millar, you look at this was tightly contested, a lot of 3-2 results on the side where SC won 4-1 over Northwestern, and then we look at the other match that again sets up an all Pac-12 final. Stanford and Arizona State, both those schools obviously in the same conference, 3-2, but so tight except for one match.
Yeah, and that one match, the 8-7, that was a little bit rough. But beyond that, we really had some great golf in there, and Arizona State, the reigning NCAA champion, coming out on the wrong side against Stanford, and this was a same semifinal that we saw in NCAA, so maybe a little bit of revenge there.
No question about it. Let's look at the men's, and we will start with Illinois. Dylan Meyer, you said he may look like an accountant. He doesn't play like an accountant.
He does not.
Against Blaine Hale.
Well,
he's 3 up at this point, and this is for birdie to win the hole.
Well, this is a young man with a lot of personality and a lot of game, sort of at Clark Kent sort of thing. He might be Superman up underneath that orange shirt. I can tell you, he can go.
He can go. He would win 3-2. Now, Nick Hardy against Grant Hirschman, who's a senior from Oklahoma. Here's Hardy, his second on the 10th.
Get used to looking at that golf swing. That's a ton of speed, great balance. Nick Hardy is a player that's going to play well beyond college golf, believe me.
He's a professional golfer.
Absolutely, he is. Yep.
He would win 6-4. Now let's take a look at Brendan O'Reilly, who's a freshman from Illinois, making that putt, taking on Riley Casey, who's a sophomore. And that was for birdie on 17, and he would go on and win. So at that point, the match, and this was one that we were looking forward to. Brad Dahlke against Michael Fiegels.
This was my shot of the day at 17. Fiegels really needed to get this up and down. He didn't want this match to go to 18, and from that rough, short-sided, that touch, that's one that he's going to remember a long time, and that's one you can really build a lot of confidence around.
All right, let's take a look now. Vanderbilt against Oregon. Will Gordon, who won the individual title on Monday, he's got this uphill putt for birdie.
Yeah, and Will really playing some great golf right now. It didn't matter who he drew. He was going to end up on the winning side. He's one of the hottest players in the field right now.
He really is. Now, Patrick Martin, who's a junior from Birmingham, Alabama. And here he is on the par 4, 17th putting. Well, actually, this is Yee, who misses it and clearly upset because he knows the match is over and Martin wins.
Yeah, Oregon just didn't have their best day, but ultimately, when you look to Vandy has top to bottom a ton of firepower.
And this young man certainly one who does as well. He's wearing shorts. I've got on 3 layers.
Yeah, I was here all afternoon. Actually got really nice out. The wind died a little bit. It was about 70 degrees, and
that was very nice.
You remember, he's out there carrying his bag, Gary. So you can work up a sweat doing that.
He's also from the mean streets of Greenwich, Connecticut,
yeah,
where Michael Breed hails from. So Vanderbilt, very impressive performance for them. They go on and beat Oregon 4-1. That sets up the final today. Illinois and Vanderbilt. And Illinois knows how to get to this final, Charlie. They simply do.
They just have a knack for match play. They seem to have a knack for playing well week in and week out. Now, this was a close one, but Illinois won, obviously, the previous 2 years, the East Lake Cup, and they don't want to give that up. You win, you want to keep on winning.
It's interesting. When you look at, you were mentioning Vanderbilt and their firepower. They win a lot of golf tournaments. You stack up their aggregate totals, and 1 through 5, they're very, very good. But the differences between Matt and figuring it out, it seems like Illinois has figured it out.
Yeah, they absolutely have, and I think a lot of times match play sometimes gives you a little bit of comfort. It's sort of like 4-ball. If you got a partner, it gives you a little bit comfort, and if you've been struggling out there exposed by yourself, that sort of pushes you. So I think that by and large, you look at teams that are really good in stroke play, when they get to match play, they feel maybe a little bit awkward. Like, oh, okay, our measuring stick is stroke play all the time. I get in match play, and they feel like maybe they're giving teams that aren't as talented as they are, and I'd put parentheses around that,
it's fickle.
a really good chance. But let's say you come in like your Casey Martin, who took a 20th ranked team to a national title a couple of years ago, and you go in and you pick it apart and you say, hey guys, you know what? You got 1 point you can go out and get from me. You can do this. You get them fired up and you go out. The team that's maybe ranked a little bit higher, they can be vulnerable in match play. We see it obviously in professional golf. It's very extreme there, where the underdog typically ends up being a favorite a lot of times, or the winner a lot of times. And in college golf, we see the same sort of thing. But you know, if you're a talented team and you stay at it, eventually you're going to figure out match play.
And I think for you, a point for these young men and women, it seems like it means more than a score. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it does, especially, you know, when you get down your fourth or fifth player.
Yeah.
And a lot of times your score doesn't even count. You know that no matter what, your point's going to count today. You are not throwing out the worst score of the 5. Every point counts, and it's a little bit more meaningful when you get a little bit deeper in the lineups.
All right, we're going to preview the final a little bit later on as we start our day here at East Lake. But for now, back to Studio AP and Cara.
Yeah, Gary, thank you. Looking forward to watching those finals on Golf Channel this afternoon. But let's get to what else is happening now. And the 6th of 8 events in the inaugural Rolex Series begins tomorrow at the Turkish Airlines Open. It is the 5th edition of the event and the 2nd time that it is being held at the Regnum Karyo Golf and Spa Resort in Antalya, Turkey. As we remind ourselves of the winners of the first 5 Rolex Series events on the European Tour this season so far. Alex Noren triumphed at Wentworth. Tommy Fleetwood was victorious in France. John Rahm conquered Ireland. Rafa Cabrera-Bello was the victor in Scotland. And Tyrrell Hatton won most recently in Italy. And now each of the last 3 events of the season in Turkey, South Africa and Dubai are all part of the Rolex Series and will offer total purses of $22.5 million, with this week's winner receiving approximately $1.17 million. So with 2 wins in 2017 and 7 other top 10s, Tommy Fleetwood currently leads the season-long race to Dubai by over €865,000 from Sergio Garcia, who is not in the field this week in Turkey. Justin Rose, you'll see, has moved up to 3rd in the standings following his win last week at the WGC HSBC Champions. Henrik Stenson won the race to Dubai last year for the 2nd time in his career. Now 11th in the standings, our colleague Rex Hoggard caught up with him in Turkey.
Thank you very much. Joined by Henrik Stenson. Henrik, you've had so much success in the race to Dubai. You've won it twice. Obviously, you're the defending champion. Do you change your mindset going into a playoff situation like this?
Well, no, I need to win 1 or possibly 2 tournaments to have a chance really to challenge for it. So, of course, we're going to try and make that happen in the next couple of weeks. I've played pretty good here in Turkey before, even though it was at a different golf course, and I know I can win in South Africa and Dubai since we've done that in the past. So, yeah, excited for the last 3 events and coming off some good results and good playing last week in China. So, yeah, I'm excited and going to try my best.
You took a bit of a break after the playoffs on the PGA Tour. How refreshed are you, and does that help you going into these playoffs?
Yeah, I think so. When you've had 4 or 5 weeks off, it's certainly gonna feel ready to get back out on the road. And there's a lot of traveling in this stretch, and yeah, I'm feeling pretty good and yeah, ready to play and up for it. So I hope I can be there and challenge the guys when we're closing in on the season.
Can you talk about the confidence boost you got from winning the Wyndham Championship, getting that win late in the season, and what it means finishing out the season?
Yeah, and it's any year where you can win on, whether it be the PGA Tour or European Tour, it's always going to go down like a pretty nice year. And I came out these 4 weeks hoping to give myself 1 or 2 chances to win a golf tournament. Last week it kind of presented itself somewhat surprisingly maybe on Sunday, but I was there and thereabouts, had a chance. It didn't happen, and I just want to try and push on and give myself another good chance to win in these next couple of weeks. And if I could finish off the year with a win, it's going to be turning a good year into a really good one. So happy to win at Wyndham, of course, and follow up my best season to date, I guess, in 2016 with still a pretty solid year. So we're eager to finish it off even better.
Henrik, thanks for your time. Good luck this week.
Thank you.
Well, he sounds confident, and he should do, because the Rolex series continues. Justin Rose, Henrik Stenson, and Andrew Beef Johnson are just a few of the names battling it out to make the winner's circle at the Turkish Airlines Open. Our coverage begins on Golf Channel tomorrow at 5 a.m. Eastern. And we'll hear from the 2007 Race to Dubai champion later in the show. Don't miss Justin Rose, fresh off his win in China on Sunday. Damon?
Well, Cara, also happening now. How about Rod Pampling defending at the Shriners Hospitals for Children Open in Las Vegas starting tomorrow? You may recall he opened the tournament last year with a course record tying 60 on the way to a two-shot win over Brooks Koepka. For a preview of this week, though, we send it out to George Savarikas.
Damon, some of the storylines to keep in mind as we get you ready for the Shriners Hospital for Children Open. A big change in the bag for Bubba Watson, who returns to the PGA Tour after taking a nearly 2-month break. Bubba making his first start this young season, and it won't be playing the Volvic golf ball as his contract with them has come to an end. He says he currently doesn't have a deal, so he's going to go back to playing the Titleist ball, which helped him win 2 majors at Augusta National. Well, it's a big week for Charlie Hoffman, who has deep ties to the Las Vegas area community. Having lived here with his family for years, he did play his college golf at UNLV. Hoffman saying that he's donating all his winnings from this week's event to the Direct Impact Fund with a minimum donation of $20,000. He's also wearing specialty Vegas Strong golf spikes as well as a specialty golf glove. There are a couple guys in the field this week who call the Las Vegas area home. A.J. McInerney is making his PGA Tour debut. The hometown kid was actually at the Jason Aldean concert on October 1st, and he said it's been simply amazing to see this community rally together in the face of tragedy. Alex Kang is making his second career PGA Tour start. He's actually a member here at TPC Summerlin and is looking forward to playing a home game in the Shriners Hospital for Children Open. Damon?
Well, George, how about a history of players going low at TPC Summerlin? We look at the best career scoring average, none better than Jim Furyk, who's a 3-time winner of the event. In fact, the last player to go back-to-back in Las Vegas is Jim Furyk. We're with our travel guru, Matt Janella, and PGA Tour winner Robert Dameron. Man, I want to start with you. Where exactly is the golf course relative to the Las Vegas Strip?
So from the Strip, it's about 25 minutes. From downtown Vegas, it's about 14 miles dead west.
Okay.
10 to 14 miles dead west. So take you about 15 minutes from downtown. From the Strip itself, it'll take you about 25 minutes, depending on traffic.
You know, most of the players, when I stayed there, most players stayed on the Strip, not just because of the extracurricular activities, a little fun, letting your hair down a little bit, but actually at the end of the Strip, there's the Stratosphere. It's the needle-shaped hotel. All the putts from TPC Summerlin break kind of towards that Stratosphere. There's mountains off in the west, kind of, you know, going towards California, and the lowest part of the valley sits right where the Stratosphere is. So the putts, it's like the Rays Creek of Las Vegas. They just give it just a little bit of credit.
I love it. And quickly, a little bit on the history. We'll talk about a little bit more in the second hour, but who designed the golf course?
Well, it's a Bobby Weed design. I've talked to him several times about developing Summerlin and TPC Las Vegas, which is essentially across the street. So TPC Summerlin private, opened in 1992. At that time, not much was going on out there, about 10, 15 miles west of downtown Vegas. And Fuzzy Zeller contributed to as a player consultant to this. Bobby Weed is a great story in architecture. Underneath Pete Dye, going back to Long Cove in 1981, was a superintendent at Sawgrass, made some changes to that golf course. The stadium course at Sawgrass has gone on to build TPC Tampa, TPC River Highlands, TPC Las Vegas. I love talking to Bobby Weed, a great working architect, and this is one of his better ones.
Prolific architect. We'll have more on the history of the golf course in the second hour. And now we send it back to Cara for the tee sheet.
Well, let's keep that Vegas theme rolling, shall we, as we dive into, yes, our tee sheet for the next 2 hours this Wednesday morning. It is the entertainment capital of the world, so why wouldn't you want to visit? Our travel expert is sticking around to inform you how to plan the perfect buddies trip to Sin City. Plus, just how does the word surf relate to Tiger Woods, Jason Day, and more of the game's top players? Well, stay tuned to find out, because our Golf Channel Academy coach is in studio to teach you how to build a swing that lasts a lifetime. And we are now just 100 days away from the start of the Winter Olympics in South Korea. But how ready is the host city, and just how strong are Team USA? Find out as Mike Tirico joins us from Pyeongchang. And you know someone else who'll be in South Korea? Yeah, our very own Damon Hack. He's taking a trip out to the mountains, right, Dee? I bet you can't wait.
I am. Biathlon, cross-country skiing, and rifle shooting.
What?
Probably a better skier.
Really?
Yes, I am.
You're not Annie Oakley with the rifle?
I'm so jealous.
I'm excited to go.